What go on, people? Slik RRhymez today are back in the lab again with the next tutorial. And in this tutorial, we will cover 808s. And we're going to talk about types of 808, finding the key of the 808, ADSR or ASDR. We'll get further into that later on. 808 slides, mixing 808, and also sidechaining 808.
Order your beats today.
Alright, so now we're in a FL Studio. What we are going to do is get a little beat going so we can start the tutorial. So now we have a string load up. So I get a little beat going. So we're going to quantize it up. So I'm going to load up some drums. I'm going to load up some drums from one of my drum kit them. We're not going to add in too much. Just I got to add in enough so we can get a little groove going, you know? Normalize it up. So now that we have a nice little beat going, now it's time for adding in a little bass line. So now you have two options. You can choose, you have two types of 808 to choose from. You have a short sample 808 and a longer 808 sample. And you can see the difference by even looking at the waveform. This is the shorter one. Short sample, as the name suggests. So we're going to use that one here. Alright, so now that you have your 808, first thing you need to do before you do anything else in FL Studio is right-click on the sample and click on cut itself. And what that do is, it stops the 808 from spilling over into itself, which might build up a lot of low-end energy and cause the low-end for sound somewhat muddy. So, yeah, that's the first thing. The second thing what we need to do is find the key of the 808 sample. So you find the key of the sample in FL Studio is you right-click on the sample, edit in audio editor. You go click the regions tab, detect pitch regions. And here you can see it shows you the initial key of the 808. In this case, it is C. So now we're going to go over back to the 808 sample. And we're going to click on the functions tab. And we're going to right-click C, because this is a C. In this case, this sample is already in C. But if you get something else like E, so you get E for example, you right-click on E. And that would automatically tune the sample to the key of E. But in this case, C. So we're going to use C. All right. So now that you choose your 808 type, you cut itself and find the key height, ready to make the rhythm with the 808, right? Now, the third thing we're going to do is we're going to change the envelope of the 808, otherwise known as ADSR. Because as it is, this is how it's playing. You don't want it to play like that. You want it to play and stop when you ease up off of the note. So when you press it, it continuously going. You don't want that. You want it to stop when you stop press it. So what we are going to do is we are change the attack to fast, put the hold per maximum, turn off the decay, turn off the sustain, turn off the release. And now we have. So the 808 only play as long as you press it. So that's it for the envelope section. So now we can use a sample. We have a sample ready for use. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the rhythm and then we vibe out what the best way to put in a pattern to fit the beat. Alright, so now that we have a pattern in mind, what we are going to do is we're going to play in the 808. But the first thing we need to take into mind before you play one note is you have to bear in mind scale and the key of the pattern where you're going to play the 808 off of. So in this case, I start the string them in a E minor. So the root note of E minor is E. So you have to make sure say your 808 play to the root note of E. What we're going to do is we can use the ghost note as a guide so that we don't go off track no time. And as a matter of fact, we can create a new dummy track. So make we listen again. So now we have a nice little beat going, sound good and everything. We can also add more style and flair to it by adding slides. Now, what the slides do is it changes the pitch of the note to a note where you choose, but it glides from it smoothly. So I can show you better than how I can tell you. So how to enable slides is you click on this triangle right here. So now automatically any note that you're playing is automatically a slide note. And you can see it by the small triangle right here. Also, if you have a normal sample and you want to turn it into a slide, you can just double click on it and enable slide. Now we're going to listen and see where are the best place so we can add some slides. So me hear one here so. do a little one right or so. Some small one. You can get creative with it. Just not overdo it because it might sound too much, you know? And when using slide, because the change of pitch height go up, it might cause it to jump up more. So what you can do is you can crank down the mirror a little on the volume side just now. Jump out and it's smooth. Alright, so now that we have a little beat going with the 808, so nice and everything. Now what time to shape the 808, meaning EQ it up, color it up, and all those things. So first what we're going to do is we're going to send the 808 to the mixer. And the first thing we're going to add to it is a EQ. Alright, this is a regular stock fruity EQ. And what we want to do is just want to carve it up, shape it. You know, so we're going to chop him up. So now we're going to cut out like 60 hertz. And the reason we cut out 60 hertz is that is where the kick is normally dominant in a most kick drum. So you want to shape it because bear in mind, say, the two instruments, them the kick and the 808, them a fight for the low end. And you need the two of them, so you have to find a way to make them work together. So this is one way. You can just carve out a bit out of the 60. And then we're going to add back some in there. We're going to add back some in the 120 hertz range. Just for add back little we take out. Enough for compensation. So it forward along, and then we're going to EQ off some of the high end because we don't need it. We just carve it up and shape it. Alright, so next we're going to add some color to it. By color we mean distortion, harmonic distortion. And we're going to use the fruity fast dist. And we are going to use the B variation. Because the A variation to me add too much harmonics to the low end of the 808. The B variation kind of add more upper harmonics, which are that we want, so that the bass line can translate on earbud speakers as well as laptop speakers. That is a bit much, so we are going to roll off some. So now we have a nice little color to it. So we're going to follow up that with like a next EQ again. And the reason we use a next EQ is the harmonic distortion we just add. It add a lot of harmonics across the whole frequency spectrum. And that might take up a lot of, use up a lot of the frequency band as it relates to the rhythm. So you don't want the bass to take up everything. Especially in the upper harmonic. So we are going to carve it up again. Just remove some of it and probably see what else we can do to it. So we carve it to a distance, so we have little of the fuzz, little of the high mid. So that sound good. That sound pretty good. So the next thing what we are gonna do is, and bear in mind, from here you can add compression, you can add anything else you want. Personally, I don't compress my 808 because when you over compress the 808, it might lead to other issues later on down the line with the song overall, where the low end and the dynamics are just hard when you come onto the mastering point of the song. So just because of that in mind, I just now add too much things to it. But you can do it everything different based on the sample and such. So from here we are gonna move on to the side chaining of the 808. Now side chaining is important because it get the kick and the bass to work well together. Meaning, because they might fight for the same position as I said before, it give them room for like the kick breathe. So it's like they might work together. It's like a symphony, isn't it? Click on the kick. Right click on the arrow right here, so we point on the 808. Side chain to this track. So now that we have the kick sending information to the 808 track. And on the 808 track now, we are going to add a dynamics plugin, which is FL limiter. You can use anything you want, any compression you can use, as long as it have a side chaining feature. But we are going to stick to Fruity Loop stock plugins. From here, we're going to click on composition, right click here, kick. So now that's telling the Fruity limiter to take the information from the kick track, which we are going to side chain. Right? And then what we want to do is we want to turn up the knee, keep the attack on very fast, keep the release on medium, and then we are going to play the track and then tune it till it sounds good. So, as I can hear, it have a pumping effect because I turned down the threshold too low. You don't want it to sound obvious like it have a breathing, like it a pump like. You want it to sound smooth, so you have to... So now you have the kick and the bass are better together, and you can hear the kicker punch more instead of the 808 drone it out, because the 808 very selfish. Additionally, what we can do is we can click on the 808 sample again and go to the envelopes tab and turn up the attack a bit. But bear in mind, the more this you turn up, the more you're going to lose the initial transient of the 808, the initial beat when it just forward in. But what that can help with is, because it cut off some of the initial attack of the 808, it make room for the kick drop in and fill that position there. Yeah, but you have to be careful because everywhere where the kick play, the 808 play, so it might sound a little weird. So we are going to play everything without no effects on the 808, and then we're going to A beat. that's it for the 808 tutorial. So we cover choosing 808, finding the key of the 808, setting the envelope of the 808, mixing. We also covered slides, right? And that's it. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day.